For more interesting videos, subscribe to Tech Simplified TV and hit the bell icon for updates. Hey guys, welcome to the Tickle Q&A session 1. In this session, we'll be giving answer to the viewers' question and answer. So let's begin. So I received this comment in the comment section of YouTube channel. So the Mahesh says here, so very beautiful video. Can you please let me know the difference between for each and for each in collection? So he commented out this question in the second episode, okay, where I think the basic for each was discussed. Okay, so I mentioned to him that thanks for asking, we'll plan a Q&A video, because this Q&A track has already started. So I thought of including this answer of this question. So let's start. For each in collection. So what is the for each in collection? Major EDA vendors have STA and PNR tool has this closed source command and respective objects and their collection. Okay, so this particular for each in collection is used in either in static timing analysis tools or in the PNR tools, okay, of major EDA vendors. Tickle does not have collection. Instead, they have list, dictionaries, and arrays. So in Tickle, episode 2, we have and the further episodes. Okay, we have discussed that the data structure of Tickle. So the basic elements of the data structures are basic data. Okay, and collection is a kind of data structure where the basic elements are objects. Okay, so these objects will have their different parent class and all. Okay, the for each in collection command is used to iterate over each element in a collection, and this collection is a product of the OOPS concept, so which I was just talking about, because for each in collection operates on each object, and each object will belong to its parent class and consist of the properties that are coming from the parent class. Okay, and this is how the basic difference of the for each and the for each in collection. The for each operates on a pure data structure, whereas the for each in collection operates on a collection where the collection itself is a list of objects. Collections can only be made from closed source objects like nets, pin, cells, etc. So as mentioned in the first point, ST and PNR tools, they have operate on the design, and the design will have nets, pin, cells, etc. And they are similar types of nature, like all nets can be clubbed into one collection. Okay, so these collections will be the kind of data structure made out of the objects. These are different than basic data structure like list, array, and dictionary. As I just mentioned before, that this data structure is different because its elements are objects, not pure scalar or vector data. Okay, so this is how this is different. Cannot use the Tickle supplied for each command to iterate over the collections, because for each requires a list and collection is not a list. Also, using the for each operation on a collection will cause the collection to be deleted. Okay, so this is a drawback. So for each, even if we operate on a collection, that collection will be emptied. So this is another reason that for each in collection is developed. Okay, so that comes the basic description. Let's move on to the next slide. So here I am touch basing on the basic OOPS concept. So when I am talking about an object, right, it will have its parent class. Okay, so let me bring my mouse pointer. So it will have its parent class from which the objects are created. The object itself, it will have multiple properties. So it will have data as well as functions or methods to it. Abstraction will be there, and data encapsulation will be there. So this is somehow I think protects the internal data. Okay, inheritance will be there when we create a subclass. Okay, it inherits the data from the parent class, and polymorphism. These are all concepts of OOPS. So why I just touch base here, because you have to differentiate what the for each in collection operates on. So the for each in collection operates on objects. Okay, so the objects might have different kind of data, different kind of method. So operating on a such a object is very different from operating on a particular single or scalar data. Okay, so we are done with this slide, just move on. So guys, here let's create a collection. So first let's create a list. We write set list abc, and this is very similar to what we have done in the TKL episodes. Okay, and let's create a collection now. If we try to create a collection, so set nets collection. Okay, and then within rectangular bracket we write gets underscore nets then star. Okay, let's add nets from the list to the collection of the nets. Okay, we operate on for each on the list. Okay, for each n then dollar list. So here we are operating on the list. Okay, not on the collection, and we write append to the collection then nets collection. So the collection comes next and we append with dollar $n and we close it. So what we are doing by this for each operation, that we are operating on the list, and from that list we are picking up elements one by one and we are appending on the collection. Okay, by this command, and convert a collection into a list. Now how we can do that? If we do set my list then get object name and then my collection. Okay, so this is how we can convert a collection into a list. So the purpose of this slide is that to differentiate the two concepts of a list and the collection. Okay, so that is the basic difference between the usage of the for each and the for each in collection. So here I have demonstrated that the basic difference of list and the collection, and how they can be converted into one another. Okay, so next comes the difference of usage of for each and for each in collection. Okay, the first in this box will show the for each and the next box will show the for each in collection. So let's start. Here we say make a list here, set values, and then we have some numerical values in the list, and we operate for each values dollar values, and then we write puts dollar $le. Okay, and we close it. So this is how the for each operates. Now for each in collection, my clock get clocks, and within the rectangular bracket we write get clock star. So it will fetch all the clocks objects and they will be create a temporary collection, and for each in collection will operate on that unnamed collection. Okay, and here we can do something on each clock net, as a myclk each time will contain each clock net name. Okay, so we will operate on that. So this is how it is different. Okay, so one example, the next example is here for each in collection my cell. Okay, then within the rectangular bracket we write get get cells and then top slash star. Okay, so this will fetch all the cells used inside the top block. Okay, so this will create a unnamed collection, and from that collection each object will be pulled into my cell. Okay, and we can then operate on each cell that is coming into as a my cell. Okay, I close it. So this is the basic operation difference of for each and for each in collection. Okay, further details. So this, please open a ticket in respective tools support portal if you require further details, because why I am saying this for each in collection is a closed source command and it is not a open source. So this command might be getting updated while you are seeing this video. Okay, so there may come some additional features, or there may be some correction or rectification. Okay, so it's better if you are using a professional EDA tool, you go to their support site and open a ticket to get the latest information on this particular command. As this is a closed source command, I already mentioned this. Further application specific development may be ongoing even when we see this video. So that is what I just mentioned. So for latest and up to date information you can get from the support portal, because this is a closed source and the EDA vendors continuously improve them as we are downscaling to very lower nodes, maybe below 10 nanometer today, and all these things have to be taken care in accordance. Okay, so things may change as per the downscaling and latest technological development. So better you open a ticket when you see any changes or any bugs or something like that. And this command is not developed by the TCL SH folks. So this is developed by the specific EDA vendor. So they are responsible for um, any bugs or something that is happening. Okay. So that's all for today. And here I would like to thank you for watching this episode, and please do like, share and comment. Thank you and bye.